GT Channel with Sam Itani, James McKeone, and Taro Koki.
Of course. Okay, and James told me before we started today that he had nothing to share with us today.
And
He's
you
got
have
more
like
photos
100
than anyone
like
today.
100
Yeah,
photos.
So he's deceived me once again.
If only these items would load so much quicker. I think we've got to talk to Sam Matani
It's
about
pretty
this
quick.
operator.
It's pretty.
it's
I
his
gotta
computer.
So,
all right, go ahead, James.
so
Floor
obviously,
is yours.
So I'm looking to cover some of the racing things that have been announced and what's happening. So obviously,
Love it.
The Formula One season just around the corner. So we're starting to get the cars come out. Obviously, this is the latest one from Red Bull stroke Aston Martin, which will no longer be called Aston Martin from 2021. When Aston Martin have their own team, obviously in Formula One this season, thanks to the conversion of the Lance Stroll Racing into Aston Martin Racing.
So Aston Martin will have its own Formula One team in next year.
Yeah, well, this year.
Oh,
Because
this year,
they're taking over Stroll,
2020. Yeah, okay, this year.
But so this is obviously the new Aston Martin. I've only got the one image of this because they didn't really have too many. This was just debuted yesterday.
Okay,
So
it
it
drops.
looks very, very similar to obviously last year's one. They even joked about it themselves in the press release. But obviously it's going to be faster and quicker than ever as things go. Also, fun fact in my latest...
When they say that, does that mean they're going to challenge Mercedes and real challenge, genuine challenge Mercedes and
that's where they firmly
Ferrari?
believe.
Okay,
Firmly
good.
believe.
Be great. More parity, more
Also,
competitiveness.
thanks to talking to Andy Blackmore and what I learned from his seasons working for McLaren, where he was designing when he was designing for McLaren race team, he was designing everything around the race team. So the funny thing he talked about was how for one season, for when it was the West McLaren team, they designed 26 different covers for the front wing, because at each race they had a different design from the engineers that you couldn't tell or couldn't perception, but they had to provide a new cover for that. And then so it's incredible the amount of work that you don't realize that happens on these cars. That has to turn it around so quickly between races to get things done. So
Hey, so did you go to Canada to meet Andy, or was it on the
yes,
phone?
no, I met with him in Vancouver.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, it was very wet, Vancouver day, but some good seafood there. I will say that.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so just keep
Big
going.
Asian community there.
There is a big Chinese community. So obviously Ferrari also dropped this week,
Ooh, look at that thing.
which is looking very nice. The big question,
Very nice.
Big question, I guess, with Ferrari is it going to be? Are they going to be? How much competition between the two lead drivers will they have between Vettel
Leclerc,
and Leclerc?
yeah. I think the future's Leclerc. Of course. I mean, that's obvious, but I'm surprised they didn't drop Vettel, to tell you the truth. I mean, he might be under contract, but he makes so many mistakes. You know?
There's lots of definitely both very much under contract. I think it's very much going to be an interesting season to see how this goes and how it plays out.
Do those two guys get along?
I think that as anyone will tell you that while you are teammates, you're racing against each other to be the best.
Of course.
So I don't think while you could be friends, you still have to beat that person and want to beat them as best you can.
Yeah.
So I think that while you are teammates, I think there's very much going to be, you have to think of yourself as the
So
person
little.
who's fastest.
Okay. So they're just competitive, but they're not having beers together.
I don't think they'll be having drinks if they bump into each other.
Okay. Got it.
I'll put it that way.
Got it.
But the car looks
beautiful.
great. Yeah. Yeah.
It's awesome.
I was-
And the paint is almost a matte red now, huh? It's not
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
glossy
yeah,
red.
yeah.
You know?
I'd still think it'd be really nice if they came in and did something retro where they put a bit of blue on, like the Ferraris that
Oh,
raced in the past.
right. Because they had the Fiat emblem on those old ones, remember? Yeah. So
So I
they were
think
owned by Fiat back then.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that'd be nice to have a bit of blue for maybe one of the races, but I think it is a very nice matte red as you talk about there
It's just nice to have that shell mark because that's been on that thing forever. So,
for a
yeah.
long time.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they still use that sponsorship money to pay the drivers because that was usually before Michael Schumacher's
Yeah,
money is
yeah.
coming from just that sponsorship. So awesome, it's beautiful. Awesome. Oh yeah, it's an awesome car.
It is a very good. All the cars
Very
are looking
good.
good.
Yeah,
it's going to be
yeah.
interesting to see how they
Ooh, look at
come.
that.
Look at that.
To go
Look at
about
that wing.
doing it.
That's like modern art. That is awesome. And there's the two drivers. Oh, yeah, they look like they're buddies here.
They look happy to be there. Happy to be there.
Yeah, but Leclerc, I mean, he's the future. He's the talent. I think maybe this year he'll be the one given what's his name, Lewis, the biggest, right? The biggest.
Well, I don't
run
think they're
for
going to
his
be
money.
catching Lewis, but that's a different story. Yeah, so the IDR is actually going to be headed to the Sonoma Festival of Speed which is happening in the last weekend of May.
Okay.
It will be at Race Sonoma, and they are looking to break the Race Sonoma or the Sonoma Raceway track record. So that was set.
Of all records, not just EVs, just
Yes.
the record.
So it
Okay.
was set last year by Mercedes with their F1 car
Oh,
So they want to go faster than an F1 car around that.
around Sonoma. Yes. So that was the plan. Is they are going to beat the F1 car around Sonoma Raceway.
Oh, I would like to see the odds on that. Oh, do you think
this
they
car
can do
is
it?
fast.
It's
I-
fast, but we're talking a Formula One car.
yeah.
It's called F1 for a reason.
I
Top.
I think that if they are going there, they're going to beat the time.
Okay, tell you what. You guys see it here. Me and James are going to bet lunch. I say they're going to fall short.
I say they're going to beat it.
I say they will beat it too.
I'm kind of leaning towards you because, why would they make it, why would they go and announce it and then fail? It would look bad. But I'm only betting James, number one, because I'd love to buy him lunch because I like him. But number
Because
two.
I buy you lunch all the time, so I think it's why.
And number two, I still would like to see the Formula One be, just have the track record on every track, just because it is F1 for a reason. It's Formula One.
Right, but the
So-
whole idea of this car is to go around and beat records.
I know, but
that's
why.
the whole
and plus,
concept
and
of this
as a
car.
brand, excuse me to all you Volkswagen people, even though I own an Audi also, but I like the Mercedes brand better than the Volkswagen brand.
So the Mercedes car that holds the lap record at Sonoma was a test car, and it was an older F1.
Oh, so Mercedes
Right.
could come back and do it with their new.
They could
race
always
car.
come back and
Yes. So I think there's a good chance,
chance it'll
that
do
the
it.
Volkswagen
How
IDR.
old do you know? Do you remember which?
I think
Mercedes
it was a 2017 or 2016.
Oh, that's not
car.
that old.
No, no. So it was it's like it's
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
Lunch,
on
lunch
the
bet?
air.
All right.
On
Okay,
the
you
air.
saw
It's
it.
on
You
camera.
saw it.
You saw
Okay.
it.
So yeah,
live.
so I think that's
Okay.
very.
Can I go to
Also,
the next one,
I was
or
going to say,
is it-
also the same weekend of this is Lufkerkult, which is happening
Oh,
in
where's-
North Carolina this year.
On the East
Oh,
Coast.
East Coast.
Yes.
Why are they doing that?
I
Well,
think
they've done it here all this time.
You know what we need to do with Katsu and Masa
What?
is do that kind of event with Japanese cars out here. You see, especially with the Built by Legends cars.
Well, they have the Japanese,
What?
classic car show, and then
That's just not
like
the
at Long
same.
Beach and
yeah, it's on that grass. It's just no. I mean,
Like a
Lufkerkult
Lufkerkult-
is so cool. Universal
like a
Studios, the
Lufkerkult
lumber
style.
is so
Yeah,
cool.
that would
so.
be
I'll
cool.
be unfortunate. So the difficult thing for me is while I wanted to see the Volkswagen beat the record at Sonoma, I'll actually be in North Carolina for Lufkerkult instead.
You're going?
Yes,
Who's taking you?
I am. I'm
really?
flying out there, and then I'm going there.
You're the man.
I'm do anything for GT Channel,
Wow.
Sam.
Oh, we got a guy out there.
We
now.
got a
Yeah.
guy out there now.
Okay, let's move on to this car totally sideways.
Yeah, so obviously I just want to touch on my last thing before we go, which would be the WRC. They're racing in Sweden this weekend. So
First race? I
second
don't
race
even
of
know.
the season.
Okay,
Monte
they did
Carlo
start.
was always the season
That's
opener.
right. That's correct. Yeah.
And this was Thierry Nouveau in his Hyundai that took the win in a very close race in the first one. But it just gives you a highlight of the three main challenges. This is obviously Hyundai's effort. If you go to the next car, it'll be Toyota's
another one.
effort.
Okay.
So there you
the
go.
Yaris? Yeah.
Yep. The
That's
Gazoo
not the
Racing.
new Yaris that they announced at the Tokyo Auto Salon, right?
No, well, this is
This is the current one that's
this is the one that competes at WRC,
Right.
so it is the one that's changed. This is not. That's obviously the consumer car that they launched at Toyota Auto Salon.
What is the video that we saw like a couple weeks ago? It was like I saw something on Facebook. Yeah. It wasn't this.
I think Fernando Alonso took the consumer car out for a few laps, and Elfyn Evans did as well, and they all said how great
okay.
it was. But so this is obviously the WRC car. This I think Toyota are the favourites for the championship
Are they?
this year. I think with Seb Ogier driving there, and I mean it's Otto Tanax there. I mean I think they have the drivers to win. I think
Okay,
they're
so-
very focused on winning this year.
Okay. So you see them as the favorites?
Yes.
Okay. Who's going to be their main rivals?
I think Hyundai is going to be their main rivals, and then Ford brings up the rear of the three main competitors.
Okay, so it'll be between these three, you
They're
think?
the three, yeah.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be Toyota fighting Toyota themselves for the
I
main
see.
one. But that gives you just a rundown of what's happening in motorsport recently that's developed. So I just thought I'd cover that instead
That's
of doing
awesome.
a car review this
Cool.
week.
Thank you.
Yeah, great,
Thanks,
great,
James.
great. And you'll be giving us updates as the season goes on who's doing what, which will be great because many of us will miss a lot of these,
Yeah,
a
so
lot
I'll
of
try
these
and-
races, but we'd like to still be in the know. You know?
Yeah, I'll try and
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
everyone up to date on what's happening in
Awesome,
this respective
awesome,
seasons.
Awesome. So, Okay, I think that's it. Any parting words for you guys? Anything coming up? Why don't you plug your future guests for your No
Yeah,
Bacon
so
Day?
again, we're going to have Willie T. Ribs coming on board for the No Bacon podcast, talk to him about his documentary, Uppity,
Awesome, yeah.
the Willie T. Ribs story, which is on Netflix now.
And like we said, a pioneer, the first African-American IndyCar driver to qualify for the 500.
Correct.
So awesome.
Also had some challenging times in NASCAR. Also in his period
That's
of
right,
time
he did. He drove a
was the
lot
most
of things.
winningest driver in the Trans Am series in the time he drove there.
Really?
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
During the period he drove, he won more races than anyone else. Also going to be my friend Billy's going to be on from Automobile Mag, who looks after their social media, which is very interesting to see how important social media.
Oh yeah, you know the print version has been discontinued, which is unfortunate. Another magazine, print magazine.
Is that
Goes
car
to the
guy
dust.
Billy on Instagram?
That is
Yeah,
car guy
okay,
Billy, a
yeah, I
lovely
know
guy.
Billy, yeah.
Yeah, very, very likes
Nice
his
guy.
coffee. Yeah, lovely guy.
Yeah, good
Also got coming up Garth McMillan, who does photography for Red Bull. He covers their Supercross
Okay.
season, so we're going to be talking to him. Hannah Maloof, who is a drag racer, also was on Fastest Car Netflix series. She was on the first season of
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Holy cow! You've got
Competed
like
against
a whole year's
Busy
worth
Moto.
already.
Yeah.
And then we've got a few more people come on. We're also going to be talking to Turbonetics about turbocharging and all about the changes in that, and also Vortec about superchargers. So there's lots of things coming along.
Look at this guy.
Trying to keep going, trying to keep things interesting and get people to go.
You are the man.
I'm trying, Sam.
Wow.
You've got big
Taro,
boots
how
to
about
fill.
you? Any update on how we're doing? How?
Yeah, so
everything,
GT channel
Has got some incredible car reviews
we've
on
got
that.
some car reviews on the site. We actually are revamping the site again. So we're
Ooh,
working
looking
on
forward to that.
We're working on redoing the site with a lot more features, interesting micro moments throughout the videos as well. We're also coming out with a new line of content, new shows. So new season of Tuner Club.
Ooh, fun.
Is starting up again, all being shot in Japan by our GT Channel Japan guys.
Right.
So the first episode is going to be on the garage Yoshida that we just saw
Right,
with
right,
mine. So
right,
that's
yeah.
our first episode. Second episode is a shop called Stradale. They are actually a Honda tuner.
Stradale?
Yeah,
More
yeah.
like
It's funny.
Ferrari
I thought
tuner,
they were
yeah.
a Ferrari shop,
Yeah.
but they're actually a Honda shop, up and coming guys.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be covering those guys, and a monthly episodes for Tuna Club, and we also have a couple of new shows that we'll be announcing shortly, like some how-to
Wow,
shows.
a lot of stuff
Yeah,
going on at
a
GT
lot
Channel.
of stuff going on at
This is
GT
the most
Channel.
I've ever seen anything going on at once. I mean, with the
Yeah,
changes
no,
and the
we're
development.
yeah. So with all the
exciting.
changes, what we're going to do is, like, if we're going to create all these micro moments through these videos, we need new content too.
Right.
So we're coming out with a whole slew of shows for 2020, and I'm really excited about that.
That is awesome. For me, really not much. I had a trip to Japan scheduled at the end of this month, but it got canceled because of the virus.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, people just don't want to
Just
fly
stay
out
put,
or
man.
fly.
Just
yeah,
stay
yeah,
put.
and I'm glad. This weekend is the very first event of the FIA Gran Turismo Championships.
That's in
and they're
Australia,
doing
right?
it in Australia.
Are you going to that?
No.
Okay.
That's another.
I
didn't want to. I didn't want. I know the virus isn't there, but still, it's just. It's a long flight out there.
I wanted to compete in that championship, Tara, but I'm still waiting on my PS4.
I got you the
I
software.
know. You got me the great. I'm waiting to play the game, but someone, Sam Matani, is not
he's
delivering
not-
on
he's
that
not hooking
PlayStation
you
4.
up.
How am I? I never promised
That's
you a
I.
PlayStation 4.
Taro, did he promise me? I heard him promise me
Never promised you a PlayStation 4.
I think he mentioned a connection, for
to
sure.
get me
Right?
a PlayStation 4.
Like a discount at least, right?
Yeah, free. I mean, at
free discount?
at $150,
What?
that's what they cost now, and the money that Sam Matani pulls in for his islands in the Pacific.
They're gonna come out with a new one before he gets you the PS, the 4 or what is it?
PS5's the
PS5.
Oh, yeah. PS5 will be somewhere.
Right?
Okay, I'm going to look at this and just tell you real quick what time everything will start. The
FIA GT
Yeah,
championship.
championship starts at 4 p.m. Sydney time, local time, and I think it goes for 2 hours. It'll be live on YouTube and the Gran Turismo live website,
Which is a great
That is-
website.
that is 9 p.m. our time. So
Okay.
in Pacific time. So if you guys are home on
Is it Saturday or Sunday for
no,
us?
it'll be since they're 19 hours
oh,
ahead.
Friday
It'll be
night.
Friday night for us,
Yeah,
but it'll
gotcha.
be Saturday evening for them. you
Okay,
know?
so it's tomorrow night at 9 p.m.
Yeah, tomorrow night 9 p.m. and Saturday night 9 p.m. for the Nations Cup Series. So if you guys are out there, if you guys nothing to do on Friday or Saturday nights like you guys, look into it. So anyways,
We got
that's
nothing to
about
do.
that's about all I got for this month.
Subscribe to GT channel. Thanks for watching.
Breaking.
Thumbs up. Subscribe. Follow this
podcast.
guy.
Follow No Breaking, at No Breaking.
And the prototype novel. By the way, I just turned in my manuscript for my second novel to my agent. So
Which
we'll
we
see where-
feature in, I
We're
understand,
in.
Taro.
We're gonna be in the
Maybe,
movie.
maybe.
We're
So
gonna be in the
we'll see
movie.
what she says. But it's 400 pages, so it was a lot of work, but it got done. So anyways, be on the lookout for that. I'll announce it here. And other than that, I would say see you later, right?
All right.
See you next time, guys.
And see you next month. Pod speed to you all.
Bye-bye.